Well, okay, so my hot take of The Land of the Lost is that the real villain of the show was the father.
I never really liked the father.
Thank you. Okay.
But I don't know why. I haven't seen it in ages.
I know why. I've had very long thoughts about it over the years because I instinctually did not trust the father. What was your favorite 70s show when you were growing up? Joanne and I are going through our hot takes with some of our favorite shows from the 1970s because, you know, I think we all have opinions. They were all a little bit weird. So I don't know, Joanne, do you want to go first or I don't know, or shall I?
So it's hard to pick favorites because, you know, it's a year of 10 years span. So I don't know if I can
But
pick
also
a favorite.
I feel like Joanne and I were both born early 70s. And so our perspective may be different. Some people that were born in the 60s might have more of a memory of the 70s that were more stronger.
Yeah.
And some of the hot takes I have were shows that I genuinely did not like, to be blunt. So, yeah.
I have some where I went back and I went, one, watched it and went, oh, God. And then two, you know, when you watched it, you didn't think anything, you don't think of the political theming of it, let's say.
Oh, of course not.
Or the messaging, and you're like, oh my God, I watched that.
Right.
But
so what's the first one for you?
I don't know if this was 70s or 80s. Three's Company. It just struck me. Dad didn't like us watching it. In retrospect, it's because I think the guy was gay.
He wasn't gay, though.
I know, but he was pretending to be gay, so it was a gay
Honestly,
theme.
I think it was because a guy was living with girls.
Yeah, no. Oh, it could be that. But no, I don't think Dad was against
And they were
gays.
unmarried.
But he was very Catholic. And and back in the 70s, there was still not a lot of information about the gay community, let's say. I don't know how else to put it. Today, we know so much more.
At least as young Catholic children.
Yes. The religion.
Societal, they knew. But maybe
I don't know. I
Catholic
think
kids in the
society
70s.
didn't know as much either. There's not as much literature out there. There's not a lot of program. There wasn't a lot of programming.
It wasn't as
Ellen?
mainstream. It
Remember
wasn't
that
as mainstream.
show Ellen, and she had her first gay kiss, and that was a huge deal.
Yeah.
And it was just like a peck.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Choose your poison, Joanne.
Oh, I should say he pretended to be gay so he can get the apartment with the two women.
Yes, I remember that.
It was a delightful. It's All in the Family. He did love All in the Family, and they touched on some difficult topics. So.
Are you going first, or?
Oh, what? Am I asking questions, or?
No, I mean, are you just stating, was the first one Three's Company? I don't know if that's 70s or 80s.
Wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah, me neither. That wasn't my favorite. Probably Sesame Street, because I was a kid most of that time.
So your first one, Sesame Street.
Probably.
So how do you have like a hot take when it comes to that?
So yeah, now that I'm older, I have complained to Sesame Street, I gotta say, because, you know, I've had
You
kids.
complained to them?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh.
They're Muppets, and this is what I have a trouble with the Muppet show, too. Mm-hmm. It's all fucking men. So they have a couple that at the time when my girls were kids, they had one obnoxious girl. And then they had Rosita, who was a kind motherly figure, but she wasn't in it as much. So I complained to them. I heard
They
they've
had
gotten
Betty.
better. Yeah, they didn't have Betty when the girls
No, when we were
little.
little. When we were little, it was a little girl with blonde hair. I think her name was Betty.
Was she a Muppet?
Yeah.
I don't remember her.
I'll have to look it
remember
up.
Big Bird, and I had
She
in
wasn't
my
shown
mind,
often.
I made Big Bird a female. Then I found out it was a boy, and I was like,
Really?
I was gonna say fuck no, but I wasn't thinking Fuck when I was 9.
I'm looking
That
this
only
up.
came recently,
Main Street.
and
In
she clearly
70s.
wasn't a big character.
No, I don't think she was. It was, let me see, Prairie Dawn.
Oh yeah, she wasn't a big character.
No, she really
I
wasn't.
did like her.
Yeah, she was cutesy.
Yeah. Oh, a little too blonde for me, but yeah.
No one can be too blonde, Joanne.
Yeah, they can.
Okay, so you want to hear my hot take on Land of the Lost? Well, okay, so my hot take of the Land of the Lost is that the real villain of the show was the father.
I never really liked the father.
Thank you. Okay,
But I
so-
don't know why. I haven't seen it in ages.
I know why. I've had very long thoughts about it over the years because I instinctually did not trust the father. And so I figured out it's because it was the father's fault that they winded up going there. His negligence. It was his negligence. Every time those kids got into trouble is because the dad sent them off or didn't listen to them. The dad was negligent and he couldn't get them the hell out of there. So the way I saw it as a small child was that this is an unsafe adult.
Okay, I must have picked up because I remember not particularly liking. He had a very calm voice, I must say.
He did.
But I didn't like
He was
him.
impotent.
Okay.
I mean,
But-
as a leader of his children.
I recognize that.
And a
But,
protector.
I will say it was frustrating for me that they can never get home. It was one of the first ideations of we didn't know at that age that for the show to continue they can't go home. But I did see the aliens as bad guys. However, I think there came a point where I went, wait, those aliens or those, I forget what they were called.
Sleazak or something like that. Slee something.
Yeah, I was like, they're not actually doing, they're just doing what
They're
they
just
do.
scary looking.
Yeah. So, yeah, that I would have to say that was my intro to sci-fi. I know it wasn't totally sci-fi because it's Land of the Lost, it's more fantasy, but it has this element of, I gotta sneeze. Sorry. Okay, so here's one that that I liked that was older than the 70s, and I can explain why. I remember it from when I was Romper Room.
I thought of that, but I didn't put it down.
Bend and
Then
stretch, reach for the stars.
There goes Jupiter. There goes Mars.
I like your there goes Mars. But I drew a bumblebee and sent it to her. I remember it very distinctly, hence a bumblebee. And it got on the show.
Shut up.
And in her magic mirror, she says, I see Joanne.
See, I waited. I would watch every time to see if she's saying, I see Danielle. And apparently my name was not trending yet. And so
You had to
Because
mail
understand-
something into her.
Danielle was a little bit more of a common name. But when I was a kid, like, it just, I think around the year I was born, it became popular because there were two other Danielles in my class, like growing up. But like older than me, you really didn't. Was there any Danielles in your class?
I don't remember. I
No.
have met Danielle's. I have a friend who's Danielle, but she spells her name a little bit
a
different.
year or two where it got really popular, but before that, it really wasn't. So, like, yeah, it just wasn't trending. But I did love that show, but I was always grossly disappointed that she never saw me, and it made
You
me
had
think
to mail
that
something in. I got my name because I mailed something in, I think. Because she showed the bumblebee. I went, that's my picture, that's my picture. I guess back then people didn't write in as much And then she did the magic mirror and says, "I see Joanne."
That's funny. That's funny.
Sorry.
Okay, I got one. Here's my hot take. All Sid and Marty Krofft monster shows were not made for children.
I don't know that.
You don't remember the Sid and Marty Krofft shows, you know?
Nope.
The weird things, the psychedelic. Oh, I'm
That's
gonna have to
probably why
get
I didn't watch it.
Oh, I hated them so much. Hold on, let me give you some of the names that all right, there's a lot of people that said they loved it, but not me. Puffin Stuff. HR Puffin Stuff.
Nope.
You don't remember? Okay, I'm gonna have to show you a picture so that you know. Because
I gotta say, for those listening, we are sisters, grew up in the same family, 2 years apart, and still I am oblivious.
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes when you grow up in a large family, you have different experiences.
I did not like it. All right, here's the advertisement for it. Right?
Nope. Doesn't look familiar.
I'm going to show you the Sid. When you see it, you'll know it.
Here was my morning routine: Sesame Street, Electric Company.
Well, this was on
Diane
Saturdays.
Shore show. You know, that big guy looks vaguely familiar.
Yeah, HR
but it
Puffin
doesn't
Stuff.
look like something I would.
I'm pretty sure these were all people tripping on shrooms.
There was a lot of hippy dippy stuff. I watched
and
recently.
The kid, there's the. Oh, do you remember the witchy poo and the kid with the flute that talked?
No.
Oh my God, Joanne! It was the stuff of nightmares.
But that big yellow guy, I can see me looking at that and going, no.
Yeah, I could see it completely turning it off. It was I know there's some people that look back on it fondly and stuff, but I really think that this was not a show that was supposed to be for children. I think it was made for teenagers that were just tripping.
So another one I watched recently, thinking hippy dippy tripping, sort of, not really, but you could trip on anything, I guess. The Magic Garden.
Magic Garden, Paula and Carol.
Yeah.
So I got a reoccurring nightmare that I've had since I was little. And it's it involves Dad's dead body in a tunnel.
Well, he's dead now, so.
Well, yeah, but
has it changed?
This is the funny thing. I had it when I was a child. I had it when I was a teenager. I had it as an adult.
All right, tell me it. I will interpret it for you.
I'll tell you another time because it's a little too long, but it does involve the squirrel grabbing me and pulling me into, the tree and the swing that comes down, you go sit in it and it pulls you up. And then that trunk had teeth and it tried to eat you.
So clearly it's something that's good and lovely and it all went bad.
Right. And then finally getting to this tunnel that kind of reminds me of you ever see those cement, when they're doing construction, they have the giant cement tunnels or cylinders.
Oh, the culvert.
I don't know what they are, I guess.
But, yeah.
Finding Dad's body in there suspended in animation, dead. This is what I had nightmares of at 5, 6 years old, Joanne. And it would reoccur for no reason.
Well, I doubt it was no reason. To me, it sounds
it sounds, to me, it always, I figured it was where everything seems it's oh, this is really great, but actually it has teeth.
Yeah.
Something that seems safe and it's really not.
And if you go back and watch The Magic Garden, because I went back, it was a while ago, the kids were still young, and I was like, oh yeah, The Magic Garden, I loved it, and I watched it and went, oh my God, that was very weird.
Oh, and at the end, I'm screaming for Dad, pounding, because the thing was made of glass. So I'm pounding on it, screaming for Daddy to save me.
Dream?
And he didn't. What?
Oh, yeah, because the ending's creepy. When they close the doors, I always hated that as a child. Mm-hmm. It creeped me out. And I recognize now it's because there was this ending that was, yeah.
Yeah. Strange things that like, and it's so funny because now looking at an adult and you look at the things that you looked at when you were a kid and you didn't realize why you were afraid of it. And now as an adult, you can have more of a understanding. It is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of things that I loved old movies when I was a kid. And now I go back and I go, oh, God, that's so sexist.
Okay, I'm going to do the next hot take. On Super Friends, most girls thought that Aquaman was hot, but I think he was just gay.
I don't know how to respond to that. I was unaware that people thought he was hot and never thought of his sexuality.
And the Wonder Twins. I know it was
Wonder Twin Powers, activate!
Yeah. I felt as though even though it took me a while to figure out that it was a boy and a girl. For some reason I always thought it was two girls.
Oh, interesting. I always thought the girl was more powerful. I forget why.
That too. Isn't that funny how we would think that?
One's water and one's an animal. And I forget which one. When you watched it, I went, oh, that one's definitely more powerful. I will pull out... Okay, now it could be because I was a little bit older than you. I remember loving the Carol Burnett show.
I love that. I was just talking about that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was over at Bob's parents' house and we started talking about like shows that we like when we were younger, and I said I loved the Carol Burnett show to the point where to this day I still follow any channel that's showing all of their skits because I just love them popping up on my timeline.
Because it's still funny too.
Yeah.
And the funny, I remember as a child watching it because it was on at night. It was one of the few shows I knew what time it was on. I was one of those oblivious kids. But I knew the Carol Burnett show came on like at a certain time. But I thought it was for adults, and I tried to sneak watch it because, like Dad, there were certain shows he didn't like us watching. And we still watch them. I say that. I don't like you watching this. Like, oh, Dad. And then, but I thought Carol Burnett was one of those shows he wouldn't like, but really, it's pretty innocent.
My hot take on
though.
that is that if they cracked each other up, that made it all the more funnier.
Oh, yeah.
Like I know that I sometimes watch like some interviews with, say, SNL cast. I've actually seen some stuff where they even with the Carol Burnett show, like a retrospective saying like, they really would say like, listen, you got to do it straight. You got to do the whole skit. Don't be like getting, whatever. And they always do. And it's like, no, to me, that's just chef's kiss.
Yes, I concur. But that's probably because they are trying to be so serious. But I will say with SNL, I don't think they are as funny as Carol Burnett. I think the skits of Carol Burnett were far more funnier. Although this past weekend, it'll be 2 weeks by the time this come out, but they did a funny one with the MAGA mum.
Oh, I heard about it. I didn't see it.
Oh, it's hysterical. You
I'll have to go look.
I was rolling on that one. But go ahead, your turn.
This is not exactly a hot take other than maybe like me telling you something that I thought when I was younger. I used to think that you were Josie from Josie and the Pussycats.
I wrote down Josie and the Pussycats.
I thought you were the live action version of it.
Oh.
I don't know why. I did.
Delighted in that show. And she was in the Archie comic books, but she was like never on. There was only a couple of episodes, but she was the original Hannah Montana.
Well, they had their own show.
They rotate. Remember during Saturday morning cartoons, they would rotate. And theirs didn't come up that often.
You're right. And I forgot that they used to do that. It was later on that they started to have serials that they would come on, like Captain Caveman and stuff. Like they would come on every week.
Yeah, and I know I keep bringing this up, but it's even true today to a certain extent. There's not a lot of strong female characters at the younger age. I mean, the first one that I've seen was Dora the Explorer. And they even took that away from her and made it Diego the whatever. But luckily my kids had grown up. But there was not, and as far as I know, still not, I don't have kids, a strong female TV series. I don't know why they don't do well. Probably because boys can't watch the girls. But girls can always watch boys and girls. They are more flexible. That's my take.
Okay.
All right. Name one that you've watched loved when you were a kid, and then you went back and looked at it and went, oh.
Ooh.
Maybe not. Had no idea it was potentially.
That's a tough one.
All right, I'll give you mine and give you a head start.
I go back to. Go ahead.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh God, yes. Sorry, yes.
And it's a shame because that was one of the ones. I shouldn't say it because I'm making my dad sound like a horrible person. He wasn't.
Dad,
he was one of the
like
kindest, compassionate.
Dad like Cletus, yes.
Cletus, yes.
He liked Cletus. That was like he would wait for it. And if he didn't show up on that week, he was disappointed.
To be fair, we were not really taught about the Confederate flag, for one. That's not the only reason why the show has issues. But yeah, well, yes and no, because that was the interesting thing when I went down to Florida. I remember meeting someone from Georgia, and she was talking about a Yankee as somebody who comes down to visit, a damn Yankee as one who stays. And it dawned on me that they were still fighting the Civil War. And I was struck. I was like, we moved on. What's wrong with you?
So because they lost.
Yeah, I know. It was how long ago? But that's why I don't think we connected it to anything. But also the whole Daisy Duke and her Daisy Duke shorts. Remember that was a big thing. And I mean, she was kind of a strong person, but also a sex object.
Was that 70s though?
I think it was late 70s into early. I did look it up before we came on because you said.
Yeah.
Late 70s and it went into the 80s.
Interesting.
And remember, we had one color TV in Mom and Dad's room. And they had air conditioning. So we would all gather in there to watch it.
That's funny.
Yeah, TV was an event. Especially
That's
nighttime
funny.
TV. Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
That was our first color TV. Yeah.
And that's the first time, and in that room is the first time we saw Knight Rider, and I remember you being so...
Oh my God! That's 80s! That's 80s,
Yes, that's
though.
80s. We'll talk about it another time.
I had a crush on John Schneider, and man, he aged well. He did. He's a nice guy. I don't think
So
he has.
my next hot take is Bionic Woman was much better than $1 Million Man.
Okay. You want to hear my opinion?
Yes.
She was a bit depressed. They didn't show her enough, but when they did show her, she always seemed a bit depressed.
She had her own show.
Yeah. She was always a little bit, oh, I guess I can do this. Poor me. Poor me.
I'm just saying I thought it was a better show than the $1 Million Man.
But I don't recall watching it a lot. I think it was one of those shows I didn't know when it was on. And maybe the times that it was on, I didn't, because I tried watching Bionic Woman. Was that 70s or 80s? Was that 70s?
That was 70s.
Okay. Okay, I have one. I do have Bionic Woman on here. The Love Boat.
Oh my God. The Love Boat. I only liked the first 5 minutes
Oh.
growing up. I like the first 5 minutes when you meet everybody and then you make a decision. Do I want to continue on? And 99.9% of the time, I did not.
I never questioned that with TV. I was a TV addict. Yeah, I have issues with it today.
That's kind of like Fantasy Island. I thought Fantasy Island
I was just about to say, that was my other one, Fantasy Island.
I didn't like Fantasy Island because I felt as though they were duplicitous. I have come to realize there are certain themes with me that when you make something seem really great and it turns out they're not, I find that duplicitous and I think you're evil.
Oh. There was, so I remember it was the only thing on. Mom and Dad used to go out and I used to have to babysit the kids. I used to fall asleep on the couch with that one on. And I remember there was because there's a magical element to it. I think they tried to recreate it and never could. But I remember it being creepy oftentimes. But, you say it looks good on the surface, but it isn't. That's life, too.
Well, yeah. But I'm pretty sure I had rose-colored glasses. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I could see that with you.
And it was just too much to take. I didn't like it. Okay, I'm going to have one, Joanne. No matter how much they tried to package it. The lead character of Buck Rogers was not sexy.
I will say this.
Gil Gerard. Gil Gerard was his name. I
have an image of him. I don't know if it's correct. I have an image of him. I will say this.
Do you have your phone? Look him up. All right, I'll do it. Go ahead.
I'll say this. I didn't have a crush on him like John Schneider. But I didn't think he was ugly. He looks very 1970s. Yeah, I think I was more drawn to the girl, though.
Same.
Erin, I want to be
something.
her.
Erin something.
Yeah.
I wonder whatever happened to her. Yeah, Erin Gray.
Erin Gray, okay.
I liked her.
Yeah, I liked her.
She was in a lot of shows at that time.
I could see it. But I didn't hate the show. I hated the robot. The robot creeped me out.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean, granted,
I never thought he was sexy, but I wasn't thinking sexy back then.
But that's the thing.
Closest I came was John Schneider.
But he was always, like, hitting on Erin Gray's character. So, like, it was implied that he was this,
But I loved how
dude.
she oftentimes ignored him and went about the business.
Well, that's why we liked her.
Yeah.
God, this says so much.
Yeah.
I feel like we're having an episode that is like revealing a lot of
to
our.
her, though. He did.
What?
He did listen to her too, and he did value her opinion. He didn't like, oh, you're just a woman, or you're just too sexy for me. I can't think straight. So
Fair.
On that sense, you can.
I don't know. I just Go ahead.
Here's a blast from the past. Chips. California Highway Patrol.
I didn't like it.
Me neither, but I always watched it. Eric Estrada and I forgot the other guy's name.
Yeah, I later heard on that Eric Estrada had the other guy fired.
How?
Well, because I think he had a lot more
John
power.
Wilcox, I think.
Yeah, John Wilcox did an interview, and I happened to stumble upon it like a few weeks ago, weirdly enough.
How did the show? Because I don't know.
They did eventually get rid of him and got a new guy.
That show didn't last.
That was
after
like
that.
a cousin or something. I don't know what it was. But yeah, and apparently that guy still holds a little bit of resentment to that. I mean, he says he doesn't. I think they
Oh, I would.
in other words, the way he was talking about it, you heard the bitterness, but he did say they had spoken since and kind of buried the hatchet. But you could hear the bitterness.
Oh, I gotta look for that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It was very interesting. It's funny how you find out things behind the scenes.
It's weird because I don't think this show survived without him. Did it? Because I don't recall ever watching it without both of them.
It didn't last too long. It didn't last too long. So I do think, yeah. Okay, I have one for you. Okay. But it's not really, I mean, it is a hot take, but it isn't. Now, and when we talk about shows that we look back on, it's not so much the themes of it because it's a book, but it's more thinking about the actress that's in there. Little House on the Prairie.
I have that on here.
And
that was late 70s going into 80s.
Yeah. And I
Early
think
80s, yeah.
it bothered me that, what is her name? Melissa Gilbert? Was that it?
Yes.
She was that child. And they had her character marrying another. It was just kind of weird when you think about
She
it.
was older when she married.
14, 15 years old.
Was that
she
how
was.
old Laura Ingalls was?
That I don't know, but I do know that her first kiss was on camera with a guy that was like 28.
I don't know about that, but that is not unusual from what I understand. I think the Stranger Things kid also did that. But I will say this. I think I made fun of every episode. I made fun of the show, but I've seen every episode. I hated Pa. Hated him.
Interesting.
He cried in every fucking episode. We used to make fun of that. Okay, when's he gonna cry now? Make
Oh my
bets
God,
and stuff.
that's funny.
Hated him. He was
That's
a
funny.
jerk. He was very egotistical. In
That
my
I did
opinion.
think. But I mean, by all accounts, it sounds like the actor who was the one that did the show, like he
Michael
was the one that
Landon.
owned the show, Michael Landon. He was egotistical in his own right, kind to everybody, but in so many ways, but also egotistical. So
Yes,
kind
I
of
would
makes
agree with that.
sense.
He ended up dying of cancer.
Yes, I remember that.
He was not old either, I don't think. Which was a little bit, I didn't hate him that much. But yeah, I thought Laura's story was good. And Laura Ingalls used to have an award, and during the they took it out because they said the N-word in one of her books.
Serious?
Controversy. Seriously. They changed the name of it.
I don't understand. Yeah.
And I didn't... I have opinions, and it's probably not appropriate. Going into politics, moving on. 8 is enough.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, so It Is Enough, much like the Waltons, is like a little bit of a sore spot for me, because there would always be these people that when they would find out you had 10 brothers and sisters, like, oh, just like 8 is enough. Or, oh,
like,
just
no,
like the
there was
Waltons.
more than 8.
And you just want to tell them to shut up.
You're like, no,
Or
more
Brady
than 8.
Bunch, same thing.
Brady Bunch. Yep. Just like Brady Bunch.
Just like Brady Bunch, 2 divorcees. No.
I always got, are they all from the same 2? And it was like...
And then,
yeah.
are you Catholic?
No. Then it was, is it twins?
Oh, yeah.
Any twins? And then it's no. Do you have TV in your house? And then it was, Yes. And then I think somewhere along the way I just said, we're Catholic. And I said, they must have started out by asking me, are you Catholic? But I would say I'm Catholic. And then they went, oh, I get it. But I heard from one of my friends, she said, oh, yeah, I remember growing up and you had I lived around a lot of Catholic families and they would have these huge families. Mm-hmm. And I was like, don't recommend.
Tell me a 70s shows that you probably saw when you were when you were sick, when you were little. You know how sometimes certain shows were on during the daytime, like they repeat the ones that were from the evening, but they put it on in the daytime. That that like mom and dad probably wouldn't have wanted you to watch. I can think of one right off the bat.
I can't think of any.
Want me to tell you mine?
Yeah.
Soap.
The show is called Soap?
Yeah, it's the first time that they introduced the character Benson, and then later on he got his own show. Benson, I like that show. But it was called Soap, and it was very controversial for the time. Like the eldest son was gay, which was like, and that was Billy Crystal. Yeah. That was Billy Crystal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying about Three's Company. It was the gay theme.
Right, which is funny. Poor dad. I'm going to say it right now. This is really funny. So during the time, I was still married. And then later on when I wasn't married, my best friend who is gay used to go to all family events with me. He was my date. He was date for weddings. He was my date for christenings. He was my date for everything.
I know this, Danielle, but then I realized we're on a podcast.
We're not on a FaceTime call. And my dad, at one point or another, turned to mom and said, I'm a little concerned, that like Daniela is hanging out with this man when, she's a married woman and this and that. And mom goes, Fred, he's gay. And dad was like, but I don't know if she should be hanging out with. It didn't register. And like,
well, maybe he didn't think
then
that
later
gay
on, after I was
thing.
divorced, he asked if I was dating Ray. And I'm like, Dad, we already told you he's gay. I think his partner of 20 some odd years would be a little upset about this.
What did Ray say about this? I know
Ray thought it was hysterical. Ray was very, very sweet to Dad. He was very sweet to Dad.
Yeah.
Anytime he saw him, he's like, Mr. Frank,
he's a sweet guy in general.
And Dad really liked him. Like he had no problem. Like he actually thought that Ray was a catch. Could not understand why I would not date him after my divorce. Yeah. Well, there you go. There you have it.
Mischance.
But no, there was all that whole show was about everybody was cheating on somebody. There was affairs. There was I think someone got murdered. It was supposed to be a spoof on soaps. So I always figured
fun. I gotta look that one up.
It was a fun show. It was a fun show. And they always ended it like with that voiceover, like, will Philip do this, that, and that? Like, it was just kind of funny.
Tell you the truth, you used to watch, maybe this was the 80s, a lot of soap operas. I'm surprised Mom and Dad didn't say anything to that.
Not a lot. Not as much as you would think. I think there was one that started in the 80s. I think I was in 8th grade, and it happened to come on when it first. Like, I could not understand how people could join in on a show that's been going on for decades.
Yeah.
And I found out they were starting a new show. And I was like, maybe I should watch that one. And it was Santa Barbara, which I don't know how many years it lasted. And I only watched it, I think, for a year before I got really bored with it when you realize the same themes happen over and over again. Like the progression of the stories on soap operas are so slow. And I lost patience. Considering it's on every day, you would think that the stories would progress. And then you would think like,
I think this
is huge. And then it
last.
was like they moved on to the next theme. Like,
Yeah.
As if the other thing never happened.
Yeah, no,
You know?
I hear you. The only time I got mixed up was with General Hospital for a short period, but my attention span went out the window.
What did you think of the ones that had like Wonder Woman, Hulk, all those like that were kind of
loved
superhero
Wonder Woman.
ones?
Loved Wonder, love,
The greatest
love.
American hero.
Oh, that was hysterical.
That was a
wasn't
cute show.
superhero.
That was a cute
just
show.
A comedy.
Yeah.
Hulk, I did enjoy, because there's an element of, well, it's the fantasy, I guess, but there's an element of sci-fi, and I didn't know this until later. I like Star Trek. There you go. I forgot about. I used to watch that and not known.
Actually convinced one of the reasons why Mom and Dad were so strict about things that we watched was my fault, and it had to do with Star Trek.
What did you do? I didn't get in trouble for watching it.
So I remember we had a staircase. Mom and Dad would sometimes in the evening watch TV, and we had this picture on top, and it was you that taught me this, Joanne. Oh. Right above the fireplace, we had a picture from Williamsburg. It was huge. Mm-hmm. But if you sat at the top of the stairs and just looked around, you couldn't see the TV, but you could see the reflection of the TV on the picture. Anything sneaky, Joanne taught me. So we would watch shows there.
No, it just shows my TV addiction.
Now, here's the thing. Do I know this wasn't because of Star Trek? Yes. Did Mom and Dad think it was because of Star Trek? Yes. At some point or another, I saw something, and I know what I saw. It was the invasion of the body snatchers. And apparently, and I don't really remember this too well.
That terrified me.
I remember it vaguely, but for 2 weeks, I would not let Mom and Dad come near me without blood-curdling screams because the aliens took over Mom and Dad's bodies. Now, for some reason, they thought this was associated with Star Trek. So, like, they started to be like, oh, we should be careful with what the kids watch, because even if they tried to, like, they couldn't go near me. Like, they had to have Carol and Linda take care of me. Yeah.
You are more sensitive than I. You must have had more interesting past lives than I did.
Reaching to the choir. I can't even watch horror flicks. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't watch violence.
I can't really watch horror either. I just don't like it. It's scary.
I don't like it.
I remember that. I don't know
I like
when
spooky, by the way.
Was spooky. I like what's that one? The Dead Seven Sense with
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense. Yeah, that would make more sense. But I would say that one was the first really scary movie I saw, and for years afterwards, because at the end he gets out of the city, but I kept thinking it's gonna get out. There's no way of stopping this. It's gonna get out, and I was trying to figure out the solution, which there is none. But the other one was, I don't know what year this was, but Amityville Horror House. Amityville Horror I saw as a child in like Mom and Dad's room, lights out. And I was by myself.
And I went to go find you, and I came in on the scene that the windows go down on the fingers on that boy, and I remember that, and I was, and you were like, get out of the room, and then yeah, I got in trouble.
But I remember at the end, I tried stepping on the floor, and I was scared. And I recognized at that point, I shouldn't have watched that.
Meanwhile, we grew up right next to, like, right by Amityville, so that probably has something to do with it.
We used to go visit the house. I was like, that's the house.
It's so pretty.
Where's the water? Where's the big backyard? Because it
was on the water.
Between two. I don't remember
in the backyard,
seeing
if I'm not mistaken.
What's that?
If I'm not mistaken, there was water. It was in the backyard of the house.
I don't think so.
We'll
have to look it up.
I thought it was on the shore.
But I'm pretty sure it wasn't on the water. And also, it's the house is turned.
Yeah.
And it's on a small lot. A very small
windows
lot.
on the top look like eyes.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I just remember seeing
that
it.
was always my thought.
That's it?
I'm going to give one more because this one is like not a lot of, this might be a little too niche. So, I mean, first,
The other one was niche to me. The one with the yellow
Do you
guy.
remember the Wonderful World of Disney? You know, how they would have different movies that they would play. So in the 70s, and it was the late 70s, there was a movie that I absolutely loved. I looked for it for years, and I only just found it a year ago, and it's on YouTube. Someone recorded it off the television. It was called The Child of Glass.
No, never. I don't.
You
remember
watched it with me, and I remember you loved it too.
Tell me what it's about.
It's about
I'm gonna write it down and look it
a
up.
spirit child named Inez, who gets she was from in New Orleans, and it turns out like this family winds up buying this house in New Orleans, and it's this historic house, and there's a ghost in there, and the little boy is the only one that sees this girl, and it turns out Inez's stepfather threw her down a well and kills her.
Is there a doll involved?
The doll, yes.
Yes.
I loved that movie.
I'm gonna look that up.
Loved that movie. However, I do have to say, I kind of get why Disney didn't release it. There were some like themes in it, like for instance, the mother, when they first took over the house, and she was fixing it up, she wanted to have a whole antebellum like party. With
I don't remember.
with slaves that are serving food.
Oh yeah,
It's authentic.
yeah. Well, you know what? They can remake it and take that out.
But it was
I'd
a
like to
really
see that.
I enjoyed it. I'll have to see if I can find that YouTube channel again. But they only do old Wonderful World of Disney shows, and like I'm sure they haven't gotten shut
If you find it,
down.
send it to me. I am curious.
Yeah.
But I will, since we're talking about movies, I was, well, this might be more 80s, but it came out before, the movie actually came out beforehand. I was big into Cary Grant and Marilyn Monroe. Loved both of them.
Not Marilyn Monroe necessarily for me.
Love Marilyn Monroe.
Cary Grant, definitely. You and I both. Like, I loved Cary Grant.
Yeah. I was heartbroken when he died, but he had some controversial
Gene Kelly.
behaviors.
And I like Gene Kelly.
An American in Paris. Hated that movie. Still don't like it. But I remember you had to watch it all the time. I'm like,
Gene
Mom,
Kelly
sing it. She's
and-
watching it again. Singing in the rain.
I loved all of them. I loved all of them. And then
Katharine Hepburn, talking about women now. Loved Katharine Hepburn.
Yeah.
Audrey Hepburn, I loved. And now as an adult, when I watch her movies, I think she acts like such a child, baby.
somewhat
her
insipid.
characters are-
Like Sabrina,
Yeah.
loved that movie. And then when you look back on it, you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's like Gigi. Oh my God.
G-
Gigi is literally about them raising a child to be a prostitute. Not a prostitute, but a
Okay.
yeah.
May I say, though, about Gigi? I recognize what they were doing on that show. Mom loved that movie. And I remember watching it. I said, Mom, are you sure? I don't know. I must have been a teenager and understood what was a little bit more, a young teenager. And I only trusted it because Mom insisted it was a wonderful movie. Now, technically, she wasn't a prostitute. She was the fan dancer. But I think it
Oh
was
no, you're not thinking of the
implied.
same one. You're not thinking of the same one. That's
I think it was implied.
no,
that
Gigi
she
was Leslie Caron, and it was in the 1800s in Paris.
Yeah.
The one with the fan dancer was Rosie. Oh, geez, Louise. Gypsy.
Gypsy. You're right.
Took
Okay,
me a
I'll have to
second.
go watch it. But here's one that is delightful. This might be 80s though. Hello, Dolly. Love it. I watched it the other day with Allie.
That's probably 60s,
that.
but yeah, I love
Walter
that.
Matthau, Barbara Streisand. Always, you're safe with Barbara Streisand, even though she did a lot of old movies.
She was definitely...
Also, who's that one who did Sound of Music? She's another one you
Julie Andrews.
Julie Andrews. She's another safe one. I know it says safe, but
do you hear that?
Like, no.
We have a rocket going up. This is constantly...
Is everything
Sorry, my
shaking?
house starts to rumble a bit.
Yeah. Betty White, she's another one that I used to love, and then I go back and I was like, they placate to men, and I was like, what are you doing? I guess
I
it
used
works,
to love Grace
but
Kelly, and I was like, yeah.
Marilyn, she never
She
hid
did
what she was doing.
But yeah,
no,
that's the
you
thing.
knew she was a sexual being. Look at Gentlemen's Prefer Blondes. They said, hey, they told me you're stupid. And she's like, no. Is being a girl wanting money any different than a guy want a girl being pretty? Yeah. I don't think she ever was... I still admire Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, she is very sexual, but I don't think she ever made a... Whereas the other women played like the little girl to men. Oh,
That happened a lot.
Yeah. Audrey Hepburn, Betty White, it was another one. I forget her name. And I used to love her, and I was... Maybe you're thinking Gigi with... Who's that actress? I don't know.
I'm looking up Gigi now.
The beach girl.
Gidget.
Gidget.
You're thinking of
Okay.
Sally Fields.
I love Sally Fields. Yeah, she just came out with abuse from someone. I don't know if it was her family or in the industry, but Gidget I enjoyed. The Flying Nun I loved.
Loved that movie. We were shown that movie
It's
a lot.
not
I
a
haven't
movie,
seen it in
it's
years.
a TV series, but
No,
yes.
there was a movie.
Oh, well, then there was a TV series. I used to watch the series. And she would catch the wind.
Yeah, that's from Gigi. Though it wasn't color.
Oh, she's lovely.
She's very lovely. She was a prima ballerina.
Audrey Hepburn was, too. She did always have this elegant
This one
look.
was, I think, an actual one, though.
Okay, I'll have to look at...
She's the same girl that was in...
No. Audrey Hepburn was a dancer before she went into the movies, into Hollywood.
This one is... she was the same one that was in American in Paris.
Is that the Woody Allen film?
The what?
The Woody Allen film?
No.
An American in Paris?
No.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of Midnight
No, American in Paris was the one with, what's his name? Gene Kelly.
Oh, I didn't like Gene Kelly.
I liked him.
Yeah.
It is what it
That
is.
is Cary Grant. Luckily, he did a lot. All right, we delved into...
I know we dipped into
movies.
other stuff, but
Yeah.
I think because Joanne and I were actually censored a lot when it came to what we were allowed and what we were allowed to see. I think a lot of us wound up watching older films, though.
I don't think that's the case. I think it was more because you look at the amount of entertainment they put out today compared to when we were kids. There was just a limited number of shows and movies you could watch on TV. And then broadcasting hours, we had 4 channels and maybe 5 sometimes, and at night it didn't air. And now you have hundreds of channels that go 24/7, and now you have the YouTube. But you have, streaming services. There's just so much content now, which is sad because the old movies get lost and some of them are quite good. And a lot of the... I have one question before we go. Looney Tunes, who are your favorite characters?
It's so funny that you mentioned them because I was like... Ugh. I loved... And I don't think it was Looney Tunes. I think it might have been Hanna-Barbera.
Oh.
Do you remember the catch the pigeon? Yeah! Okay, I will always think of that.
I think that's Hanna-Barbera.
Oatmeal with raisins. Because
Are
Mom...
you talking about the Carole King song?
No. Catch That Pigeon. It was like...
I know Catch That Pigeon, but the oatmeal with raisins.
Because I just remember Mom making oatmeal and raisins, and it was dinner time. But for whatever reason, she decided to make oatmeal and raisins, and we were watching it in the kitchen. It's just like one of those like core memories. Okay. We're sitting in the kitchen. They had the black and white TV in there. We're watching this, and Mom made it with cinnamon, and there was so many raisins in there, and I felt like it was a treat because there were so many raisins in it.
My kids hate raisins.
Well, I mean, we didn't get that many sweets when we were a kid, so even like fruits or raisins was considered like dessert.
We put too much sugar on, like cereals, though.
We did.
I will say Daffy Duck. I think he was underrated. And I loved him. And the spaceman. I forget his name.
Marvin the Martian.
Yeah, Marvin the Martian.
I get that.
Just thinking about him.
I hated Tom and Jerry. Just so I thought I'd say it.
Yeah, Tom and Jerry was
violent.
boring. Yeah.
It's the same story every time.
But they both were. The cat and the mouse was violent.
It's amazing we're all like amazingly, crazy. When you think about some of the childhood stuff that we watched.
Yeah. Nah, I didn't really watch it. That was boring. It was the same thing over and over again, and it would irritate me.
But I feel that way about Bugs Bunny, too.
Yeah, I wasn't a big Bugs Bunny. A lot of people like Bugs. I was a Daffy
and Bugs
Duck.
Bunny, I think Marvin the Martian was in the Bugs Bunny universe.
Yeah, that's the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
That's why I asked the Looney Tunes. I like Marvin the Martian. He was not on that often. Daffy Duck was... a lot of people, I could see them seeing him as kind of mean, but I thought he was... Well, Bugs was smart, too. But there was something about Daffy that was clever that I enjoyed.
I didn't like any of them.
You didn't like
I might get some hate for that one. No, not really. For the Looney Tunes?
You're at the end of the podcast.
Like, I didn't mind... I don't know, right? I didn't mind Marvin, but it's not like it stood out to me. And it might be because it was like one of those side characters that weren't shown that often.
So which one was your favorite in the Justice League? Since you mentioned the Aquaman.
Well, I think Wonder Woman was always my favorite, but I didn't particularly like her in the Justice League. She was way too serious. like kind of boring serious.
I don't think she was in it that much either.
And I liked the Wonder Twins and the monkey, but in the same breath, like you said, the boy was stupid.
I don't remember
and
that.
whiny.
I remember saying I thought the girl was more powerful.
And then I guess Aquaman. But again, he
Aquaman
wasn't
was
shown
the
that
one
much.
I liked.
And Aquaman and Wonder Woman often hung out together.
Oh, maybe
But
that's why.
they put more emphasis on like Batman, Robin, and Superman.
Superman, yeah.
And in all honesty, they were just like, meh.
Remember the Batman? I was hanging out with this girl for a while, and we would meet up once a week, and I would say, okay, see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And then one day she finally said, I don't know what that means.
That's so funny. Here's something there I was going to say. The only real Batman episodes that I really loved, like that old school, like really cheesy ass Batman, was when they had Catwoman or they had Batgirl.
Catwoman.
But even with Batgirl, like I love Batgirl, but in the same breath, like sometimes you were like, I couldn't help but be annoyed that like, why is she always the one that's getting captured? Or like, why are they doing something? She could do it. I could do it. Like it would get me annoyed that they kind of you know,
She
made
was
her
the weaker
weaker.
sex, yeah.
Right. And put her at the level of Robin. I felt like she was a lot more sophisticated
well, I get why
than
she
Robin.
was at the level of Robin.
I didn't.
But
Because even if you look at her side character, she was older than him. He was like a kid in high school. She wasn't.
Oh.
So they put them at the same level, and I did not feel like they were.
Okay. I was not a huge fan of Batgirl, but I must admit, when you see the beginning credits, when I saw that, I was excited. I went, "Oh, good, Batgirl's in it."
Batgirl's on.
Yeah, but I did like Catwoman better.
Oh yeah. Oh God. And every manifestation of it, all of them.
Yes. Well,
all of them.
I think I saw one that got a little too sexy, and I was like,
They all were sexy.
Yeah, maybe too sexy, and they focused on the sexy than her being smart. Excuse me, I burped. Michelle Pfeiffer was crazy.
I like the crazy.
Halle Berry, I remember her.
Didn't see it.
Oh, I saw parts of it. It wasn't well done, unfortunately. Then Anne Hathaway, she was delightful.
Yeah. I didn't know there were that many Catwomen.
Halle Berry, I think, just got out of a divorce. And I think that was slapped together.
Sometimes I feel like Hollywood just needs to take a pause.
Maybe.
You know? But then again, from what I heard, there's like...
She loved it, though. She loved doing it. She said it was very freeing after having I think a divorce. She goes, it made you feel powerful.
Oh,
and I understood that, but when I watched it, I was like, this isn't one of the better ones. I loved Halle Berry.
Oh, I did too.
Whatever happened to her?
She's still around.
Oh, that's right. I saw her on a masterclass for menopause. Do you know she said on it, I was in the doctor's office and this, that, and then she said, maybe you had menopause. And she thought, what is this menopause? And I went, girl, how do you not know what menopause is? But then I thought, when did I learn about menopause? It was Mom, I think.
Well,
they didn't teach
Mom.
it in school.
And you got to figure, she started going through it right after she had the youngest sibling. And I was 12 when he was born. So
I think they did a skit on SNL. I think that's what my first encounter with menopause. Which is probably not a good one because they were making fun of the night sweats and
all the stereotypes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I do remember, I'm going to hope that Gordon doesn't listen. I don't think he does. But I do remember when we were early on in our marriage and his father, who has since passed away, said, what did he say? Oh, women, a lot of couples get divorced during the menopause because women go crazy. And I went, oh, poor Gordon will be used to it. I go crazy once a month. I was pissed that he said that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a threat to his wife because his wife was there or if he was a warning to me or what. But I was like, oh, yeah? Well,
that's funny.
I go crazy each month. So there.
Wow. Well, this was fun, Joanne.
Yeah.
This was fun. I want to do a version of music too. That'd be kind of fun too. Or our favorite candies. Growing up, I have to get to that one.
The candy store.
We'll talk to you next week, Joanne.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.